What's going on, family? Welcome to your Monday night live stream. I am your host, Sir Ashley, and I am a licensed real estate agent in both North and South Carolina. Now, we do these live streams, I'm going to say every week, to share with you what's happening in the market, also give you insight behind the scenes as far as buying, selling, investing, but also to you realtors out there. Sometimes this is just emotional support for you because this market is a lot different than it was just a year, 2, 3 ago. So a lot of times we are in our own bubble. So it's nice to know what's happening with other real estate agents. And today I have a very special guest. I consider her a friend, a sister, and somebody that's doing very big things, and possibly a second guest. We'll see how time permits. But this first one I'm talking about is really has something major going on here in the Carolinas, and it's something that when I first heard about it, I thought it was ahead of her time, and it still is. But more people are picking up and catching on to what she's doing. So, without further ado, Mel, how you doing?
Hey there.
Can you introduce yourself to everyone, please?
Sure, absolutely. So, my name is Melanie Mills Johnson. I am also a licensed real estate broker, and wonderfully, how coincidental, I am also with Lifestyle International Realty.
That is a
But
coincidence. I don't know how that happened.
I know, it's kind of strange, right?
Yeah.
Not only am I a real estate broker, I've been in the business 14 years, but I'm also a tiny home land developer. So I develop tiny home communities.
Yeah, yeah. No, so when you first mentioned this to me, it had to be a few years ago, and I'm like, tiny what? I don't even know what it is. And I saw like some TV shows talking about tiny homes, and I thought it was intriguing. Like years ago, I thought it was intriguing, and I even just recently I was thinking about living in a camper. I'm not totally over that just yet, but I am intrigued, still intrigued by the idea, and so much so, I was just in the gas station the other day, and some people that know me, like, why are you in the gas station? You drive an electric vehicle. I like the coffee. I
Chips,
like the
drinks,
coffee,
other
chips,
things.
drink, all that, all that. And the one I go to near me, they let me fill up I don't have my water bottles with me, but my water bottles with like their Circle K water, like flavored
Mhm.
water for free. So I'm like, let's do it. So yeah. While in the gas station, I was leaving and I saw this. This was the newspaper for the Herald, which is Rock Hill, the Rock Hill paper. And this was Friday or Saturday. And on the front
Mhm.
page, it said tiny homes, big subdivisions ahead for Lancaster. Now, I know some people in the comment section I might have butchered Lancaster.
Lancaster.
Lancaster, yeah.
Lancaster.
I'm from up north. I'm from up north. But it just highlights that this is not some small phenomenon. You heard it throughout the country, but it is something that is making its way here in the Carolinas and in the greater Charlotte region. And this right here, I think, is going to be huge for Lancaster.
Lancaster.
I'm still effing it up. Uh, I was better. I was about to say the full word. But I think it's going to bring huge opportunities uh, for that area. But can you share what you're doing and what area? And then I have some questions for you regarding tiny
Yeah.
homes mindset. And before you get into that, those of you who are watching, if you have any questions regarding tiny homes, the real estate market, we're here. We're here to answer them to the best of our abilities. If we don't know the answer, we will share that with you. I'm not going to try to BS you. We'll just go from there. So,
Right.
if you don't
Um,
mind.
well, actually, ironically, I have been a part of the tiny home movement for a number of years. Currently, I am president of Tiny House Big Movement, based in Concord. We put on a big tiny house festival. But I was this girl who was running around Charlotte telling all of my real estate friends and colleagues tiny homes, tiny houses, tiny, 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 for the last several years. So, it was just kind of like everyone relates it to HGTV, and it was just, oh, there she is talking about those tiny houses again. It'll never work. And I'm like, no, it's the next biggest big thing. It helps out everybody. But yeah, so I've kind of been involved in the movement for a couple of years. Tiny House Big Movement, and one of my business partners, Kim Delaney, she was instrumental in implementing the tiny house ordinance in Concord. So
Tell
she
me,
helped.
what is that? What is a tiny house ordinance?
So the word, let's go back. The word tiny is
Yes.
relative and it's subjective, right? Tiny for me may not be tiny for you, and vice versa.
Hmm.
But tiny matters in the minds of zoning. So
Yes.
everything starts with zoning, and each municipality has ordinances. And some flat out say absolutely no tiny homes, right? No matter the kind, because there are different types of tinies. And they may say the minimum square footage that you can build in Sarland, USA, is 1,500 square feet. That means that you cannot build anything under 1,500 square feet. So in Concord, my partner was able, to work with the city of Concord. They wrote, developed, and got it passed an actual tiny home ordinance, which means that you can build a tiny home on foundation as a single family, anything under 600 square feet.
So anything under 600 square feet is considered a tiny
Well,
home?
the maximum is 600, and I
Okay.
think the minimum, I have a lot of different ordinances going around in my head. I think
Yeah.
the minimum is like 400 to
Okay.
600. So you can't
So,
go over 600. And if you
yeah.
build, it is within right. You do not have to have any special permissions.
Oh wow. I didn't realize that. Didn't have to have any special permissions. I was gonna say so 4 to 600 in Concord. Here in this article in Lancaster, I know I messed it up again. Uh, is going to be the layouts that's been submitted and passed uh,
Mhm.
are 492 square feet with a 200 square foot loft.
So
So
actually, that ordinance, I read the article,
yes,
and of course, I looked at the ordinance. I think from the sounds of the article, it has to be it has to be 700 square feet, I think.
okay.
700, I think that is yeah, between 700 to 1,000 square feet is
So
for that particular project.
700 to 1,000. It's not
Hmm.
bad. It's not bad. One thing I forgot to do, forgive me, those of you who are tuning in, thank you. I have about 25 people watching right now. Go ahead, hit that like button, share it. Uh, Comments, questions below. Let us know where you're watching from. We did have a few comments. Somebody was just checking out tiny homes. I don't know how do you say that. Theory. Just checked out. Was checking out tiny homes. Glad you can watch. He can watch the live here. She can watch the live. My husband and I, she, um, are waiting for a lease to be up so they can move to North Carolina. We have co-ownership over 118 acres there in the process of starting a community. Um,
Ooh, I love to hear acreage. I'm a land nerd. I love to hear the word acres.
I knew it was going to get you. I knew it was going to get you.
Ooh,
Now, Mel,
yes.
how can people reach out to you if they want to partner up with you or are interested in this in having their own tiny home community or creating it? That since she has 118 acres,
Hmm.
interested in tiny homes, how can they get in contact with you?
All of my socials, well, my hashtag is hashtag mail sales Charlotte. Um, Email address is mail sales Charlotte with at gmail.com. Make sure you put the S with sales. Facebook, my name, Melanie Mills. I do have a business page, but everything is public and I'm very forthcoming. So easy to reach. Or they
I'm
can call
about
me.
to Mel Sells Charlotte at Gmail.
Hmm.
Put it in the chat. I'm putting it in the chat now. And what is the best phone number for you? Put it in the
704. You ready?
hmm
704 733 7933.
Perfect. Number three. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you, three. Uh, Contact information for Mel is in the chat. I will put it in the description after this video is done. Barbara, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us this week. Definitely appreciate it. There will be house tours coming out this week as well. And what I'm looking forward to is when some tiny homes are available, you giving us or allowing us access to tour those and showcase them on the channel.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Absolutely.
perfect. Now, tiny homes. I have some questions just regarding um, why do you believe that tiny homes is gaining traction here in the Carolinas?
Well, actually, it's been gaining traction on the West Coast for years.
Yeah.
But here in the Southeast, um, for the most part, is inventory, affordability. There's so many different reasons why people go tiny, whether it's downsizing, whether it's first-time home buyers, recent college grads.
Real quick, sorry. You
Mhm.
just named like four reasons, right? Let's
Uh-huh.
dive into each of them.
Okay.
Affordability, right? Affordability. Like right now, the average home in the Charlotte area is around 400,000. Let's just
Hmm.
say, give or take 10,000, 20,000, right? Um, what you see or projections and everything like that, what would be the cost of a tiny home? And let's say 700 to 1,000 square feet. What would be the cost of that and everything associated with it?
A lot of people, I will debunk some myths.
Yeah,
They immediately think, oh, tiny homes. They think, oh, they're cheap because they're small. Well, going in initially, the price per square foot for a tiny home may actually cost more per square foot
yeah.
going in. But overall, you're going to have your savings on your energy efficiency, your utilities, things of that nature.
Hmm.
So it all depends on where the land is, just like regular real estate.
Yep.
The price of the land, the price of your lot goes into it. But then on your build costs, you're going to get premium price per square foot because tinies are different, right? They're more
Yeah.
on the custom side.
No, I totally understand that. So, not trying to if I'm not trying to pin you down, right? But
Uh-huh.
for average, let's say 1,500 square foot home is 400,000. I know location matters. So let's say in Cabarrus County, and I
Okay.
know Cabarrus County you have Kannapolis, you have Concord. I know it's going to vary there too,
Yep.
but in general, what would a
Hmm.
tiny home cost?
So you can think, so if the average $400,000 house is
Mhm.
1,500 square feet,
Yep,
we could easily divide that in half for a 700 square foot, right?
yep,
But when you add in just a couple of extra dollars on your price per square foot, so we may be looking at 700 square feet, you may be looking at 250.
okay.
So you're still going to get your custom premium price per square foot.
And I've seen some tiny homes with like amazing finishes. I mean, top
Absolutely.
notch quartz countertops, and then some of them had amazing indoor outdoor living areas. It was again, if I can convince my oldest,
Hmm.
that's going to be the challenge. Convincing my oldest. The youngest would do.
Exactly.
She don't care. She'll be with me anywhere in a hut.
Yeah,
But the oldest is used to a certain standard of living, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So she's like, it's not even as big as my room.
Hmm.
Um, so I had to convince her. But the finishes and for some of these tiny homes are absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah. The price can go up because, like I said, it just all depends. So, if you want to compare like a box builder, a more box builder, we won't
Yeah.
say any names,
Hmm.
who come through, it's 300 houses, and they're pretty standard, right?
Yes.
And then we compare those to more of the higher end custom builders, right?
Hmm.
That's where you see your price per square foot difference,
Yep.
just like traditional.
Thank you, Victoria, visiting from Montana. Some states don't have a minimum. I don't
Right.
think Montana's out there. as
So
far as
let's
being
see.
just being free, like you can do whatever you want in Montana. So
I
I think
love the
Montana
Midwest and the West
has,
Coast. Love
yeah,
them. They get it.
yeah. Um, Barbara, thank you, Negro from the hood. I appreciate it, Barbara. Uh, Next question I have is, who are the typical buyers for tiny homes?
Mhm.
Now, is there a typical buyer? Because I'll let you answer because I'm not sure if there is.
I think that's the great thing about tinies, right? So you have different people, different demographics. There is no target audience. And that's why tinies will work well in a lot of these areas because there is no stereotypical buyer. You have your recent college grad who is fresh out of college, not making a lot of money, has a lot of student loan debt. They still want to be on their own. They still understand generational wealth and wealth building, right? But they're getting three roommates to rent a two-bedroom condo uptown Charlotte, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Paying,
I've been there.
right, right,
I've been there. Yeah.
right. So, some of the tiny homes are bigger than the studio apartments uptown, the condos. So you have your recent college graduates, you have your downsizers, the ones kids are gone, like me, and I want to go tiny now, right?
Hmm.
Um, First time homebuyers who understand, okay, I have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
If my budget is saying that, this is my price point, I would much rather live in something, a tiny, brand new, and gain equity, and then move up to my next home, and
No,
then move
I
up.
like it.
The
I
crawl
like
before you walks. And then also, your agent in place community. So, you're 55 and ups. You're on fixed income.
it. Hmm.
So it's more
Something
demographics.
that I see young, and I see you in the background, Tammy. I'll get you in 1 second. Young, young adults
Hmm.
uh, preferring the small, tiny home, smaller home, because they really only sleep in their house. Like
Exactly.
they don't cook, they don't do anything. They don't. They're always out, right? They're always
Hmm.
out. They really only lay their head, and they're like, I can crash on somebody's couch. I don't need much more space than that, right?
Yeah. And I haven't even really touched on the different types. So I'm just all talking about tinies on foundations so
Yeah,
far. So, there are different types. You love van life. So there's
yeah.
that's part of the tiny movement,
I
right?
didn't know that. Okay, I'm
Yes.
part of the
So,
tiny movement.
yeah.
All right.
So you
Okay.
are part of the movement. I was so surprised when I saw that. So yeah, you're part of the movement. You have vans, van life. You have schoolies. You have they're called those tiny houses on wheels, and they're called RV park models. So we're big. We have a lot going
Yeah,
on over here.
I see. I see.
Hey
Real
Tammy.
quick, I want to
Hi.
introduce Tammy. Thank you for you've been working. You've been out running around showing how one dealing with matters, showing homes. I'm glad you're able to jump on and join us. We're in a discussion, just answering questions right now regarding tiny homes, tiny home communities. The one we just answered is, who is the ideal buyer for tiny homes?
Mhm.
Uh, and before we move on to the next topic or question, Tammy, can you introduce yourself, contact information, how people can get in contact with you, and then um, share with what you have going on. Before we do all that, I want you to know, I want everybody to know how blessed I am, because again, I saw this article, and just in my, not even Rolodex, like these are two people that I talk to regularly, have amazing things going on regarding tiny homes. And I'm like, why not just, it's already in the news, people are already talking about it. Let's bring them on and let more people learn about it. So, Tammy, thank you for making time. I appreciate it. Uh, can you introduce yourself to
Thank
everyone?
you so much for the invite. Hey, Melanie.
Hey.
Melanie and I connected, of course, in the beginning before Lifestyle. We connected on Tiny Home Big Movement because I was requesting information. Before we get there, my name is Tammy Leggett. I am a resident of North Carolina, born and raised from
Yeah.
Charlotte, live in Gaston County now. Real estate broker for the last 25 years with Lifestyle International Realty. So if you're looking for a home, we can help you there. But if you're looking for a tiny home, man, you have a wealth of information sitting right here in front of you. what I've been working on.
So real quick, before we even
Sure.
go, like, there's one part I want to like add on to this is your introduction, because I would have said future partner in the Gastonia office. So thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
yes. Along with becoming a future partner for Lifestyle, which I am so excited about. Um, about 10 years, well, over, my mom passed away 9 years ago. So a little, I know it was over 10 years ago because she was a part of my story. I had a dream. As Martin Luther King say, I had a dream. I have 4.89 acres that I've been living on for a little over 20 years. And I seen in my dream this property operating. The full property in front of me is only grass now, but it was just trees. And in my dream, I could see properties around me. And I told my mom, I'm going to turn this property. It's meant to make money. Not only that, it's meant to do something other than, my family just living here. God showed me this vision, and I'm going to build houses. And as the years have come on and I've worked toward my plan, I went to Gaston County looking into tiny homes, container homes, tree houses. I mean, I've looked
Oh
into
wow, I didn't
everything.
know about all that.
Oh yeah, I've been
Okay.
looking
I
into
didn't know about tree
anything,
homes. That's
everything.
container homes. I think yeah. Okay.
Yep. So I thought, let me go to Gaston County and talk with them to see what I can do, because I knew I could build approximately 10 homes on my property. But let's see what they say when it comes to everything else. And I got to Gaston County and it was my turn. And I said, I'd like to talk to someone about building. And then tiny homes just came out. And I said, well, I just smiled at them. I said, well, all this time I was wondering what I was going to build. God just told me. It just blurted out my mouth. So now I need information on tiny homes.
Yeah.
He loaded me up. He was happy to say that Gaston County not only are welcoming tiny homes, they have created some new rules around tiny homes, gave me the information of where to look on the UDO. And from there, I started researching, and now we're in the process of starting the meadows at Dutchman Creek in Mount Holly, which would
Say that
be
again. I don't think you
the
told me the.
meadows.
I didn't think I know the name before.
Yep,
I
the
didn't
meadows
realize
at
that.
Dutchman Creek.
I
I
love
love it.
it.
Middle of
Yes,
Dutchman Creek. I love
yes,
it. I
yes.
love it. Now
So we're
you shared like some rough plans, sketches. How many units for
We're
now?
looking to
Actually,
have
that's supposed to be.
31 here.
Mhm.
With Gaston County, you can build approximately 10 houses per acre. Even though I have 4.89 acres, I am surrounded by water. So, of course, I'm in the flood zone. So, we're building up out of the flood zone. But I'm also bringing in some amenities that would make the community be considered a luxury home community, because we will have a swimming pool, a gym, a laundry room, a 20 by 20 community garden, sitting area with a gazebo and sitting with fire pits. But that was special about that 20 by 20 community garden is that my daughter is a master gardener, and she's also a master, she does medicine, natural medicine. But will be offering classes to not only the residents, but also the public on health,
Love it.
and using natural things that we have here from the earth to help them with, all different things that's going on with their health. So we're looking
Now,
forward to that. Not only that, we are now, I just received information that we have sponsorship now from Gaston
yeah,
County Health Department, Mecklenburg County Health Department, Gaston County Commissioners, and a couple others. So I'm
Congrats.
excited.
that is a blessing. You shared that
Excited.
with me, and I am very excited. Now,
Yeah.
forgive me. I got distracted. I distracted you. How can people get in contact with you, Tammy?
Of course, you can contact me by phone or text. My number is 980-643-7200. I'm
Oops,
also
sorry. You know I'm
available
slow. 643.
7200.
Got it.
I'm also available by email, and that's my name, Tammy, TAMMY LEGETTE @gmail.com. And of course, I'm on all social medias as Tammy Leggett.
At gmail.com. Perfect. Both of their contact information will be in the description below. They're on the chat as well. We had some questions. Before we get into tiny homes, we'll take a quick divergence real quick right now. Can you ladies speak on becoming real estate agents for those interested? Whichever one of you wanna go for it. You didn't ask
Sure,
me
I'll
3.
go.
I'm a real estate agent too, but that's fine. That's fine.
As women who identify as female, we just speak differently. We give the extras. Congratulations on becoming a mom with your first baby. Um,
Mhm.
I'm sure Tammy would agree that you know real estate and being a real estate broker, agent, whatever title you want to put on it, is very rewarding. However, it's hard work. It's hard work. I think, in my opinion, my advice would be to really, really figure out exactly what you want to do and get
Yeah.
in touch with your personality. If you're not a big people person, then maybe you may not want to be in residential, right? And maybe you want to go to commercial, or maybe you want to start. There's so many different ways to make money in real estate, not just opening doors and being a traditional broker. You might want to open a transaction coordinator business
Yeah.
with a license. So I think just figure out who you are.
Now, and when you do that, Tammy, I'm gonna let you go. But when you do that, I recommend you talking to your friends and family because you may perceive yourself as one way, right? Like I am like this, but they can be looking at you and like, no, you got it wrong. This is actually where we believe your gift may be or where you are. So it's nice to have that feedback from a third party or somebody outside of yourself because sometimes we're jaded, right? We just don't know exactly. I call it shallow hell syndrome, to
Yeah.
where we don't know exactly what we're good at or bad at.
Mhm.
We need that third party to come in and let us know.
And
Tammy,
also be careful when asking your friends and family too. Be careful of what friend and what family member that you
yeah,
ask,
that is
because you
very
do
true.
not want to tell your dreams to a dream sucker. So
Or a
make sure.
small-minded person,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because
I was
yeah,
going to say, and one of the things about that is talk to someone that's an entrepreneur because
yeah,
they think differently.
Mhm.
With me, it was easier for me to become an agent versus some of the people I knew because I was married to an entrepreneur that had been an entrepreneur for years. So even getting into real estate, starting with the class, you want to learn as much as you can. And there, YouTube is available. There's information no matter what state you're in. You can go to YouTube and type in that state, North Carolina real estate class, and it's going to bring you up information. You can actually find someone that you enjoyed listening to, that you get the feel, you feel them, and start listening to them. And that's something you can do prior to signing up for the class to see if it's something you want to get involved in. And I say that because I have a daughter and a granddaughter. And what you said, sir, my daughter is in real estate school getting ready to take the test. So my granddaughter said, I want to be a real estate agent.
yeah,
And I had to talk with her. You're not a
Mhm.
people person. This is what we are in real estate. That's maybe you want to do mortgages.
Yeah.
Mortgages are a little different. You're still involved in real estate. Like you're
Mhm.
saying, Melanie, you're still involved in real estate, but you're on a different site. You're not on an everyday out. You're not meeting with someone every day. You're talking on the phone. And then
Yeah.
we have property management. We have investing. We have so many different avenues when it comes to real estate. It's first about deciding, like Melanie said, where you want to be. And if you want to be a realtor, do you want to be in property management? What do you want to do in real estate?
yeah.
And then getting some information and finding out, definitely making sure that you are financially ready, because real estate is expensive. And don't let anyone fool you. It is
And we
it's
do not
expensive.
all drive big cars and live in big houses either.
Yeah, you do
We're not,
not.
we're not all rich.
But people assume that and they think our jobs are easy because
Right.
they see us just opening doors. There's a lot that goes on. That's the easy part of the job. When
That's
people think that's
where
all we do,
I,
that's the easiest part to
yeah,
open the door and
no,
tell
I
someone
agree.
to come in and
Mhm.
describe the home to them and negotiate for them. That's the easy part. The hard part is behind the scenes that no one sees, and even your clients
And
sometimes don't know
I
that you
think
went to bat for them.
yeah, I think
So
that's where we as real estate agents we fail the public. We fail the public where we show the glitz and glamour, we show the big cars and all those things. That's sort of why I'm intentional about just wearing a black t-shirt and a hat every single time you see me. Now if you saw me in person, you might see something else. But in general, like if you see me out, like this is what I'm wearing because it's not about the flash and the glitz and the glamour, right? And we need to like behind the scenes is where it gets dirty and I don't know, sometimes yucky, right?
Yeah.
And we need to highlight that more, as opposed to, one, we're devaluing ourselves to where people are like, why are they, should they get this percentage? Because the
Right.
only thing we do is, X and Y,
Yeah.
when they don't realize we have A through Z to take care of, right? Um, so yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree. Three, this was your question. Reach out to us. You said you're coming to North Carolina. You have property here in North Carolina. Reach out to us. Tammy, Mel, myself, my information is in the description below as well.
Mhm.
We can help you. We can help you, whether it's becoming part of lifestyle or partnering, making sure you're on the right track. There's a couple real estate schools and classes that I recommend that you can do online that has a very high success rate of passing for students. Reach out to us. We're a resource. We don't gatekeep. Again, I started this by saying part of this is to be therapeutic for other real estate agents. We want to inform the public, but it's a different market right now than it had been.
Mhm.
And I've gotten a lot of real estate agents saying, "Hey, I'm tuning in to see what's going on. Are you experiencing this or what's going on?" Because I just had 3 listings terminate. I just had 2 buyers fall out. Like, is that common, or am I just failing? Right. So it's just one of those things to where we're a community. Yes, you may be at another brokerage or whatever, but we're a community and we try to help
Yeah.
each other. Um, where are we at here? Barbara says name tags are absolutely needed.
Name tags?
Now, Tammy, I don't know where you put name tags on right now, Tam. You need to
Oh,
tag team with
I
Tammy.
have a dress on.
Okay. I knew you had something on. I know you had something on.
I got a cute look, y'all. I got a cute little dress on today. It's very hot here in North Carolina. I was out showing property.
It is very hot, very hot. No, I'm with you as far as the name tag.
But you are
I'm
correct.
surprised you
Yes.
can't see. So we in the background, probably more information than you asked for, but we in the background, we can see, like, you have to put your name in. So I can see people's names. Uh, I can see Mel's and Tammy's name, but I guess you all, as a general public, can't see. Maybe see if I can change that. I'll mess around with it. Um, 3 says you guys giving great advice. Thank you. Definitely live proving great service and giving people great experiences. Most definitely. Couple questions regarding tiny homes in the community. And for either one of you, what are the benefits of living in a tiny home community beyond just the cost savings?
I'll go. Do you want to go, Tammy? I'll go.
You can go
Um,
ahead. You can say mine too. Go ahead.
in my opinion, I think, especially nowadays, I think that we as a society have gotten away from community. So we'll say that we live in a community, right? But is your community really community?
Mhm.
So those of us who are and believe in the movement, we're very community oriented. As Tammy explained, in her community, she's going to have a pool, fire pit, things of that nature. In my community, we will as well. It's just kind of getting back to the basics, where you know your neighbor, where you are connected, you kind of share a common thing, right? We're in the movement, right? But yeah, and that's I think we need to get back to the basics.
Before you answer, Tammy, I believe that's what's lacking in society. I know this is not a society conversation, right? But everybody is an island among themselves, feel like they're not connected to the greater whole, like their decisions are only going to impact them or what they do, when that is just not the case, right? Like, it all has a trickle down or an impact, a ripple effect to each other. What you may decide to do, a mile away, it's going to impact me eventually, right?
Mhm.
So it's just, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. Tammy, your answer, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for its benefits, for the residents, not only are we talking about cost, but we're also talking about locations. We're talking about the ability to live outside of home, and that's what a lot of people are looking for now: the ability to travel. Seeing that so many families are in different states, You have an opportunity to not only travel, but depending on where your home is located, you can actually take your home with you. So a lot of people are choosing to do that because you can get where you're going and mount up in an RV camp and still have your home with you, depending
Yeah.
on, yeah, say what type of tiny home you have, but the community. Inside this community with the fire pits and the community garden, that's all about bringing the community together, but also
Mhm.
offering wellness. Even the way the community will be set. And with the architect, the way he has planned the community is even to bring more of the community together.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that will go, and not just here, but in throughout Gaston County and Mecklenburg County. After people see it, and then of course people are wanting to get involved with the movement, and even
Mhm.
Airbnb. We
Mhm.
Yeah.
have, they're using, that's a benefit.
Yeah. I'll tell you, my favorite couple. We had them come to our festival and speak. They did an educational class. Um, they live in a tiny house on wheels, right? They are a family of four.
Oh, wow.
Mom is a travel nurse. Dad works in IT from home. And so they move their tiny. Now, get out of your head an RV where you just jump in the driver's seat, put the key in, and just go.
Yeah.
That's why we're working with, working with the ICC and trying to get the legalities and the things, the labels changed for tiny houses on wheels. They are not an RV, right?
Yeah.
Well, wherever she gets her contract is where they move to next. They decide which contract and then they move. And, nursing contracts are 6 to 8 months. And they
Yeah.
have a son and a daughter and they live in a tiny. They
I like,
travel, they experience, they homeschool.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
pretty
that.
dope.
I do like that. Now, feel free if you have any questions, people watching, feel free, leave them in the comment section. I ask that you put a Q by it so I can know for sure that it's a question. We're here to answer any questions. I say we, they are here to answer any questions regarding tiny homes, and I'm just here to help facilitate it. um, Question I have though is, what sacrifices, if any, do people make by choosing a tiny home?
What do you think, Tammy?
Well, first of all, you're going tiny.
Yeah,
So you have to understand that you don't have the square footage for my community will be up to 600 square foot. We can go up to 800 square foot in Gaston County. But how many people live in a 500 square foot home when they have a bedroom, or space that is the size of 500 square foot? So you're
Yeah.
definitely losing square footage. Um, for a family, I've seen them make do. I've seen them turn that tiny home into an event. And to
absolutely.
be very eventful every day because they live there. But yeah, it's definitely the benefit of, a benefit, but a downfall of having less space. Um, but I'm sure people get used to it. I have had the opportunity to visit many tiny home communities through North Carolina and Virginia, while I was researching and speaking with the people that are living inside these communities, everyone from the younger generation that are in some communities, the over 55, the disabled and veterans. I've spoken with them all, and they're loving where they live.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's definitely a choice.
I think that it's a trade-off, right? You
Mhm.
can you can call it a sacrifice, right? But when it's done with purpose, like of course you're going smaller. So you may have to sacrifice and change out your winter and your summer clothes, in a storage unit. So you may still, a lot of people still have a storage unit, right? Um, I don't really think that it's much of a sacrifice, but more of gains. You know,
Mhm.
you are really living lighter, right? Without you don't have a $3,000 mortgage anymore, right? So you're financially free. Like that.
Which right now, let's be honest, is a what? $400,000 home, $380,000 home, with like 3% down. That's a $3,000
Right,
mortgage. It's nothing
right.
crazy. We're not talking about a $500,000 home. We're talking, 380, 400,000, depending on the interest rate.
Yeah,
So yeah, want to be perfectly
yeah.
clear, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Please do not hold me to that number. I just threw it out there.
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
do not say Mel said that my mortgage would be $3,000. No. But it just to really think about it is you're not dealing with the overall stress
yeah,
of coming up. You have to get a job, making a certain amount of money because you have this big mortgage and you have to do that. So you get a little bit more mental clarity, right?
yeah,
To where if your mortgage is not as high. And studies show that most people living in tiny homes or tiny living have more money saved in the bank than the average homeowner.
yeah. No, I like that. I like that. Where do we have? I thought we had some questions. We had Tammy, Victoria from Montana says community's called New Now Village, still in the process, but we say community, common unity
I love
for
it.
yeah,
Common unity. I like that.
yeah, yeah. Victoria,
I
we
could
might
bring that to North
take that,
Carolina.
adapt that to the Carolinas. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing that with us. I definitely appreciate that. Um, what to the audience, I have a question for you. Um, Thinking about moving into a tiny home, what is one of the what do you think would be the biggest challenge, hardest thing to let go if you moved into a tiny home, right? And in addition to that, if you moved into a tiny home, what is your must-have feature? What must it have for you to feel comfortable and be like, yes, I'm glad I made this decision. So, what would be the hardest thing, and what would you have to have if you were to live in a tiny home? So I'll let you all answer that. But in the meantime, financing. Talk about buying a tiny home and getting a tiny home. Uh, how does one get financing for that? I know with the normal home, traditional home, we go get a mortgage, right?
Mhm.
I'm truly asking this because I'm ignorant. Is that possible with a tiny home? What's going on?
Like with most tiny home questions, the
Hmm.
answer is it depends, right?
Yeah.
And it mostly boils down to it depends on the type, right? Tiny houses on wheels, RV park models, you're not going to have your traditional mortgages through, say, the big boys,
Yeah.
Wells, Bank of America. Um, However, tiny houses on foundation, remember I said the word tiny is subjective, depends on the square footage, if it's allowed, right?
Hmm.
And then in regards to how can you pay for it? If it is truly a single family on foundation per Fannie Freddie guidelines, it's safe to say that anything over 550 to 600 square feet is considered a regular single family home fully backed by a mortgage. Now, the trick is finding a lender who is
Yeah. Yeah.
well versed or willing to dig a little bit deeper and go down in the HUD guidelines and look down. It's not in the major. It's not new, right? I mean, it's new. So most people, your first answer to your question is, "Hey, can I buy a tiny home?" A lot of times, what I faced is, "Nope, can't do it." But you can do it. It just takes finding a good lender who has done their research, who is willing to learn, and who is willing to be innovative like we are in financing.
So I find before you go, Tammy, is to the mortgage professionals out there. This is a niche that most people or many people in your industry don't know anything about. So speed kills. If you're the first to dive in to knowing about this right here and being the subject matter expert, you better believe with all these tiny home communities taking place in the greater Charlotte area and the Carolinas, both North and South Carolina, like word travels fast in the real estate community that this person is known for this, right? You just created your own lane, right?
And
You
I'm
just made
taking
your own bank.
notes. I remember
Yeah,
I remember testing a lot of lenders
yeah,
because I
yeah,
already know the answer, and I remember testing them and say, "Hey, let's talk tinies."
yeah.
And of course, people look at me like I'm crazy. Oh no, we can't do it. But I remember the ones that you know did a little extra and said, "You know what? Let me check on it."
I like it. I like it. Tammy, did you have anything to add?
Same thing for me. We will actually be renting the lot, so the homes will be purchased. by the individuals. We have found financing up to 15 years. I'm actually looking for additional financing, but I have found financing for up to 15 years for them. Our prices here will range between 130,000 to 160. Or actually, it's 168.
Now, how many
Um,
units again?
31.
You said 30, right? Because you
31.
put one aside for me. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna get a discount, everyone, but I need one. I want to have a
You want
getaway.
one facing the water? How close to the water you want to be? You want to be able to hear the sound of the water or actually see it?
I'm fine with just hearing the sound because if I
Mm.
hear the water,
That's everywhere.
yeah, I'm
Anywhere on
trying
the
to think.
property you can
If
hear.
I see the water, like more people. No, that's the pool. I'm talking if I'm closer to the pool, more people are going to be by the pool. My whole thing is I want to be away from, not away from people, but it's going to be my getaway, right?
Hmm.
For a weekend, get away from my kids.
Yeah.
Now, Tammy,
Um,
are you on wheels or foundation?
On wheels. We
Okay.
will be on wheels here.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Danny asked, investor friendly?
For me, yes.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Only a certain amount of units though.
That's why I'm taking mine. I'm already earmarking
Hmm.
my unit. Uh, Francesca says the hardest thing is can't host a family gathering. Nice to have would be a nice bathtub. Would
Hmm.
either one of you like to address these concerns
Yes,
and must
I would
have?
love to.
Go
I
ahead.
would
Hmm.
love to. You can definitely host family gatherings because what you're going to do is
Mhm.
once you're going to maximize living space and you're going to create living space to the best of your ability. So you have a lot of screen porches, you have a lot of outdoor kitchens, outdoor entertaining areas. So, yes, you can host family gatherings and you can build your tiny with a bathtub.
Yes.
And more than likely, you probably will not use the bathtub that often. And in a couple of years, you will probably say, it's time to renovate the bathroom, take the bathtub out.
I was gonna say that's what most people do when they buy a home anyway. Everybody, not everybody, about 7 out of 10 people I show a home to want a bathtub. And then when you ask how often they use the bathtub in their owner's suite, the big
Yep.
garden tub, I don't. Right.
Hmm.
And then when you get to when they get to the 55 and older community, they're like, you know what? I had a bathtub. Just give me just be able to walk right into the shower. So
Hmm. A lot of people
um,
want a bathtub for kids.
but
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
then also, I do know another tiny dweller. She wanted a bathtub. It was a must have when she built hers. She built it herself and she had to have a bathtub. And I think I saw recently she renovated her bathroom and got rid of the tub years later.
Ah. Danny says he's earmarking number two. So now you have 29 units, Tammy. And I believe Sean wanted one as well. So
Hmm.
y'all better get on the list. Um, Victoria says hardest, absolutely nothing. Must haves, two heat sources, and good internet. No matter where I am, I need good internet. But
Hmm.
two heat sources. Why? Again, I'm ignorant. Why two heat sources?
I would assume, I don't want to answer all the questions, Tammy. I'm sorry.
No,
Um,
go ahead. That's two
I
heat
would-
sources.
yeah, I would assume that Victoria is probably tiny on wheels. And she's in Montana, probably. I'm just assuming Victoria. If I'm wrong, correct me. But a must have for tiny houses on wheels is going to be two heat sources, whether it's propane and an actual mini split. And it's cold in Montana. So if one goes out, right? Generation, if the generator goes out and the mini split isn't working, you have propane.
No, I like that. Uh, Victoria, please feel free. Add another comment, some more context if you need to. Um, you've already shared some examples of people who have gone tiny. Mel, have you all experienced? We talked about the good people that have gone tiny and experienced it. What about people that have gone tiny and like realized it's not going to work out for them? Have you ever come across that?
Every day. You
Yeah.
see them, you see a lot of resales.
Hmm.
Um, just like anything. People say, "Oh, you know what? I want to live uptown." And then they get uptown and they say, "You know what? There's no grocery stores closed. The corner store is not closed. I want out."
I'm
So
rethinking my electric car right now. I wanted
right.
electric, loved electric for like 4 years. Now I'm like,
Yeah,
Does it not really want
this
this?
was a bad decision. So
Right.
yeah, people will come in and out. And then there's people who's been living tiny for 30 years.
Hmm.
And it's
Um,
okay. It's okay to change your mind. So
Now we talked about good internet. Well, Victoria mentioned good internet. How how would that work? I mean, because I'm assuming there's not. Again, this is ignorance on my part. Like the electricity would come in the home. There's not the traditional wiring that you would as far as what Google Fiber just came through Fort Mill, right? So you're not getting that. So how would one get good internet?
well, are
That's
you
not
talking
hardwired into the.
community on foundation or on wheels? Right?
Let's go
So
with.
either
Because I think the
or.
community
So
on foundation would be the
it's just
easier. It's
it's
the
just like
easier
anything.
answer. Yeah. Now on wheels though, is it
On
the
Wheels the same. We
router?
will be offering Wi-Fi to the community.
Mhm.
Okay.
That would be a part of the HOA.
Okay.
And then if you're just like alone, like say out in Montana, Starlink is
Mhm.
always available. So a lot of tiny dwellers do Starlink.
Barbara, we are I can't wait to show you some tiny homes. Barbara has been watching. She's a devoted viewer of the channel.
I
She
can tell.
she gets on me about not putting out enough house tours, and when I talk too much, she lets me know. It's a YouTube channel for me to talk, but she lets me know. So I appreciate it, Barbara. My man Danny said hello earlier. He said he's sorry he missed you. He's upset he missed you when he was on the live stream a couple of weeks ago. But no, she says tiny home sounds wonderful to her. So no, thank you for that. Um, Question to the audience: can you all see yourself living in a tiny home? And for both of you, what areas? I know you said Mount Holly, but where do you see great opportunity for tiny home communities and developments?
I think everywhere.
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 Everywhere. Wherever there is land, wherever there
Mhm.
is municipalities that are willing to be innovative. What we have found, 'cause we do a lot with, the legislators and government officials and stuff like that. A lot of people just don't. The people that wrote these things, it could be so old, right? They just do not even think about it. If it doesn't affect you, you don't think about it.
Mhm.
Right now, we have partnered with We Build Concord, who is one of the major builders in Concord that builds for affordable housing. And we've partnered on a project in the Logan community. It's going to be Tiny's on foundation, single family homes, Tiny's 1 story and 2 stories.
Now you said Logan Community.
Mhm.
Where? Forgive me. Where is this located?
Um, on Corbin, it's going to be on Corbin Avenue
All right.
in pretty much downtown.
Downtown.
Downtown,
I was gonna say I know exactly what that is.
yeah.
Okay. I need to get the Concord. I see. I need to get the Concord. Um, where are we at? Right here. Is there any final words you all want to share? I typically go an hour. We're at 53 minutes right now. I want to be respectful of both of your time. Um, what would you like people to know about the tiny home community, tiny homes, your vision, and again, make sure you give them your contact information one more time.
Go ahead,
Tammy,
Miss.
Mel, whichever one.
You want to go first, Sam?
Go ahead. No, I want to hear because I'm loving. I love tiny home big movement. Um, that's first place I went when I started looking
It's
into.
hilarious. Yeah.
Exactly. First place I went to look
Yeah.
into the movement.
It was funny how Tammy and I met.
Mhm. And
um,
now we work together.
and we worked together, right? It's crazy. Full circle. First and foremost, sir, I will advise you and anyone else who are just like, you know what, I can't see myself being. Are we good? I think we're still
It's
on
just
live.
you. No, we're good. It's just you.
Okay.
You're talking. I wanted to highlight you. Go for it.
Oh, okay. You were doing a lot of moving. Oh, okay. Um, I would suggest you and anyone else who, a lot of people see it on TV. Oh, I love HGTV. I really want to live in a tiny home. Or, sir, you say you don't think your oldest daughter would be down with the program and be okay with living tiny. You guys go and visit some of these communities, and stay in them. There's plenty of, Airbnb rentals that you can kind of get in, stay the weekend, see, do you like the plan with the loft up top? Do you want your primary down? So kind of get in it, eat it, see it, smell it, and see if it works for you. Um, but I guess in closing, me, I'm always available since I first, got turned on to the movement by happenstance. I was just your regular real estate broker. I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, why do you keep talking to me about tiny homes and, just why not just a traditional home? And then I got put on the board, and I do not like to be involved in anything where I don't know what I'm talking about. So I did a deep dive, and tinies made sense. It's like, why are we stressing, right? So I am president of Tiny House Big Movement. We do have, several things coming up. On October the 18th, we started it last year. We had our first one last year. It's called Blueprint to Tiny Living, and it's held in person or virtual. And it's where, kind of like this, where people can get together, learn about zoning, learn about how do I build, what does it entail, what do I have to do, because the internet is a deep hole. So we're having our second one on October the 18th. We took a lot of feedback from the first one. They want to do a deeper dive into zoning and build costs and things of that. So we have that coming up. The website is tinyhousebigmovement.org is the website. Um,
Well, thank you for
and
that.
yeah, and then, our community, we probably will be breaking ground November, December of this year in Concord, and probably complete construction September, October of next year.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have one-off situations, especially like the 118 acres of land.
Go ahead. We got
Call me.
yeah, caller.
um,
How can she get in touch? It's in the comments. I'll put it in the
yeah.
description, but how can people get in touch with you?
On social media, you can just put in on Instagram, Facebook, hashtag mail sales Charlotte. That's me. Um, and my phone number, mailsalescharlotte at Gmail, and 704-733-7933. I'm all things tiny.
I
Thank you,
love
thank
it. I love it.
you. Tammy's just teasing over there.
Okay, yeah, for
Tammy,
me,
She
because I
looks
love
so
hearing y'all
proud,
talk.
doesn't
I
she?
really, this tiny home movement became a part of my life, and for a minute, I was everything tiny. I mean, all the research I could do, everything YouTube, everything ChatGTP could find me, everything Google, Gemini could find. So I like now I really took this thing to the next level when it came to research on, even with my property, what type of sewer, what different types of toilets can I choose? Even to see what those types were. What if I wanted to put one here and put it closer to the water where I don't have sewer? So all these things I wanted to know. So it's been this thing that I have actually, like I said, researched, and it's exciting. It excites me. The community for me that I am building, I'm in the beginning stages. I'm hoping to break ground by the end of the year. I now have my general contractor, my developer, and my architect. The survey is completed, and we are moving into a funding stage. So that's where I am now, getting the money to start the infrastructure to, see this dream and vision become a reality.
Now, we had a question where you talked about your team that you've assembled. Adrian asked, how would someone become a contractor for those builds?
I know Adrian. Hey, Adrian. um, well, for mine, I think Tammy, you have your team together already, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Um, I know that we are looking for builders, contractors, all of the things, not necessarily for the major Concord project, but we do have other things going on to where we're working with homeowners who have land who want the tiny. So we are putting um, uh, Rolodex. The kids nowadays do not know what a Rolodex is, but we're putting our vendor list together.
Yeah,
So if you're a contractor out there, a general contractor, a builder, any of those things, please reach out to me because we definitely need all hands on deck. I will preface it to say, please, please have all of your ducks in a row, um, all of your paperwork done so that we can, kind of vet and go through.
no, thank you for that. What was I gonna ask? I had something. It slipped my mind. I got distracted. Uh, Tammy, how can people get in touch with you?
You can always reach me by phone, 980-643-7200. By email, my name, Tammy, Tammy dot Leggett, Leggette at Gmail. And then on social media, I'm on Instagram at Tammy_Leggett.
Perfect, perfect. No, ladies, thank you for taking time out of your day. Um, Man, it shouldn't shock any of my viewers. I reached out to you this morning, and I saw the article again, leaving the gas station. I'm like, hey, that would be something. Let's talk about it. And I know you two are experts in this field, in this industry, and you have things coming up in the process. And I feel like we need to shine more light on it because it's not just what they see in the paper as far as what just got pre-approved. You all are doing it right now, and it's just not being highlighted. So we want to make sure that your names are out there, but also for people that there's an ordinance here in Charlotte where, or Mecklenburg County with ADUs. Could a tiny home be an ADU?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I know I asked the question. Would one of you like to talk about what an ADU is?
I
And then
can.
we can wrap up. All right.
Okay. I can. ADUs, of course, that ordinance has been on the books in Mecklenburg County for years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They have, thank goodness, kind of tried to catch up and kind of loosen it a little bit.
Need more
Um,
housing. Need more inventory.
it still does need some work, but we are making strides. ADU is short for accessory dwelling unit. Think pool house, in-law suite. I would really like to see a lot more ADUs, especially in a lot of these older communities with these large lots. So I've been on the UDO calls and asking the hard questions in the chat, and uh, I'm working on Mecklenburg County. I'm coming for y'all because it's so needed. I mean, we got to
Mhm.
do something in order to have housing, and also think of these homeowners who've been in their home for 30 years on fixed income. This is an
Yes.
income generating, asset that's right there.
And talking about those homeowners that are in fixed income with the increase in property taxes and everything like that,
There you
I've
go.
seen tons of, I won't say tons of exaggeration, a lot of homeowners end up having to sell because they cannot keep up with the cost of taxes and being able to sustain their way of life and living. So this gives them again that additional revenue stream on that land that they already have. So it just makes sense. So no, ladies, thank you all. We got to do this again. And when you have to come back, give an update regarding what's happening. And obviously there's an interest. And I encourage both of you. I know I'm always the one telling you all to get on video. I know,
I know.
Tammy.
There you are.
Now, but I
I'm working
encourage
on it.
you.
I'm working
There
on
is
it.
a community, not that you all don't know this because it's on HGTV. There's a community here that want to like craving the information that you all have, that you all are experts in. Um, let's make it readily accessible to them and not just to them in general. Like we have people here in the Carolinas that need this information. So let's I implore you to let's have a tiny home big movement YouTube channel, Dutchman Metals channel. Let's do it.
Okay. I'm
All right.
down.
All right.
Yes.
But don't go anywhere. But to the audience, to viewers, thank you for rocking with us. A little different, right? But this just shows that real estate is not monolithic. You don't have to do single family homes, you have to do commercial or apartments. There's ways in which you can get into this game, and I say get on the property ladder that is unique to you and your experience and can satisfy your needs. This is just an example of that. But again, thank you for rocking with us. I am Sir Ashley, your real estate advisor. If you need me, contact information is in the description below. I will see you all next week. I hope. I should be seeing you next week.